One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome back, everybody, to Simtrax Broadcasting. We are none other than with the Racing Revolution League here on this fine Wednesday night. We are at the Lady in Black, the track that is too tough to tame. Joined alongside me tonight is Jacob Reeves and Stella. As always, we are looking up for a wild run here tonight as guys are starting to get some of their qualifying laps in. Alex Forget will take a look at him in the 19 Toyota as he finishes up his final lap here, trying to see if he can get on the board a little higher than the 7th place he is sitting. But this track is going to be a tough one. 1 and 2, a lot more spread out, a lot wider. 3 and 4, a lot more pinched. And, you know, Jacob, talk to me a little bit about Darlington here. This is going to be quite a tough track. They really got to keep an eye on their tires and their fuel mileage as well.
Yeah, I mean, you basically hit it right on the head right there, Patrick. I mean, both of these turns here, turns 1 and 2 is completely different from turns 3 and 4. You're going to have to brake earlier going into 3 and 4 as you would in 1 and 2, and this track is very, very narrow. You wouldn't think that from possibly sitting in the grandstands or what have you, or possibly seeing it on TV. You probably think, well, heck, there's a lot of room right here. You know, they ought to be able to drive down as low as they want. Not really. I mean, there's basically one groove here, and it's basically just cut down, come straight up, and then come back off the corner, because you got to watch off turn 2. If you don't, you'll fence it. Turn 4, we've seen it in the earlier NASCAR races last week. People just driving straight up into turn 2 and fencing it, driving it up to turn 4 and fencing it. So I'm sure these guys, every single one of them, James Loveland, Ray Lane, Jeremy Burns, all these guys, Nick Alves, this man right here, Nick Alves, needs a great run tonight, Patrick. But all these guys are sitting there. I bet you every single one of them has watched some of these races that has happened earlier this week with the NASCAR Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, and trying to learn what they can learn from those races to be able to try to implement it in this race tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have to, and especially when you talk about how narrow the track is, with the new safer barrier walls, they're not going to be really smacking them and destroying the wall as much, but it has narrowed the track about 2 feet, seeing how close it is to the wall. Definitely narrowing it down and taking away a lot of that race surface. And Stella, really, it's going to be an interesting, kind of aspect here due to the banking of these turns and everything else, getting them the hook to really get down for some solid times here tonight.
Yeah, as Jacob's saying, the turn 1 and 2 is at 25 degrees. 3 and 4 is at 23. You've got that wider end. You've got the narrow end because of the minnow pond, and the banking on the front and back stretch are negligible.
All right, let's take a look at what we are lined up for here tonight. 147 laps with 5 sets of tires sitting down pit ready for them to use. 50% on the fuel limit, so watch out. We'll see how long this fuel mileage can last before they get to the next stage. Of course, no fast repairs here in this league unless we are to Super Speedway. Stage caution is at lap 45. Of course, Patrick here, your lead producer, and my broadcasters Jacob Reeves and Stellar Stella. What do you guys say? Let's go ahead and get started on our starting grid here for tonight with James Loveland and Caleb Gilbert taking the top spot. Definitely great shot for both of these guys. They have been hot as of late, and Raider back in that third position, starting on the inside of row number 2 next to Blake Cook. Now, I will say, Blake Cook has been getting a huge shot here. He's got high qualifying times, but he's just got to finish the race in that top spot that he's getting. Now, something to keep in mind here that I was reminded of before. Mr. Ray Lane here will be starting 5th, but he should be receiving an EOL penalty. He had a choose cone rule violation in his last race, so he will be starting in the back of the pack, as Alice Forget will be starting in the 6th position. Tay McDonald will be 7th with Dylan Smoot. Brandon Dunfer starting on the inside of row number 5 with Jeffrey Israel starting 10th. All right, rotating back to row number 6 where Jeremy Burns starts next to Nick Alves. Now, we'll talk a little bit about Jeremy Burns and Nick Alves because these two had a battle at Darlington last season, pushing Nick Alves into the Final Four, but there's also a bracket challenge. We'll talk a little bit about that later here on tonight. Moving on. Matthew Robinson starting 13th next to Kevin Orlando. Trevor Earnhardt 15th, and Devin Hudgens will be 16th. Trevor Earnhardt, I would probably suspect seeing him looking for another hard charger award, seeing how far back he is. So let's see how he can do next to Justice Murphy. Justice Murphy will be starting in that 17th position, and we'll see if John Fike can take flight in the number 8 in the 18th position. Wayne Lowe and Trevor Keith 19th and 20th, with Michael Bennett and Brandon Richardson starting way back here in that 11th row. Starting row 12 will be Parker Johnston. We remember a little bit how he finished his race last time. He had to tow because he was out of gas. Unfortunately, I brought an untimely caution, shuffled everything up, and that definitely caused a huge mess. Following up by Jacob Sirkovich, I don't believe got behind the wheel. He may have had a disconnect problem, so he's going to be fighting that if he is able to return. Kynan Jones starting 25th, and Jackson Lomax will be our final driver. 26 drivers here in the Racing Revolution League for the Chapman ES 200. And Stella, this is going to be a wild one, like I said. And talk about Chapman sponsoring this race here.
Oh, absolutely. I love to talk about Chapman. Chapman Environmental Services, they have clients that are private and in the public sector. They range from schools to hospitals to municipalities and counties and numerous private sector companies throughout New Jersey. Chapman's operators, scientists, and consultants are focused on providing a high level of client service and technical expertise. Chapman has project managers, regulatory, and compliance experts.
We got a caution. Hold on. We got a huge pile up here right at the line.
To Betsy, a kerfuffle already.
Caution is out. Remember, I was talking about Blake Cook. Guys need to stop. Looks like even Kevin Orlando got turned around. Still got hit. Looks like Devin Hudgens may have hit him right there at the end. Wayne Lowe all the way in the back. Blake Cook got smashed up to pit. Wait, look at this. Wayne Lowe didn't even get the first lap in here.
And has half a car left.
Whoa. I'm wondering if somebody started in the wrong gear.
Yes, honestly, from what it looks like right there, Patrick, from what I'm seeing, it looks like maybe Caleb Gilbert just spun the tires right there on that initial start right there, because from what I'm seeing, I mean, it just looked like he was ready to go. It looks like he was actually a little bit ahead of James Loveland a little bit. Obviously James Loveland's supposed to be on the pole, For a second, I thought that he was actually ahead of him from what I was seeing, but you're going to watch it right here. Wow, look, yeah, big time. Spun the tires, Blake Cook, bam, straight into him. Oh my gosh, just a bunch of guys just fall victim to this right here, Patrick. And wow, and oh my goodness, Alex Forget getting caught up in this.
Man.
Wow, Wayne Lowe, a bunch of guys right here just getting caught up, and the race just started.
I've got to know what happened to Wayne Lowe here. He was way in the back. What?
That would be what happened.
No contact, but it looks like Jeremy Burns might survive in the number 9. Alex Forget got hammered there pretty good. Blake Cook, he got hammered pretty hard here. Let's take another look at Blake Cook through this run. Oh, man. I think what gets me is the return back.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Kevin Orlando had no idea what the heck happened. Now, I do want to take another peek and see if I can find another angle here of Caleb Gilbert, and I didn't know if he got nudged from the back. If he got nudged, if Blake Cook sent it into him here, or the 54 spin.
I did not see that.
Nope, 54 spun.
Yeah, he just completely spun the tires right there, Patrick.
Wow. All right, well, guys are working their way down pit here.
And I was going to ask the question, will we just have a re-rack? Or
Well,
are we...
That's hard to say right now. Loveland and Rader sitting here in the front row. Obviously, Caleb Gilbert getting sent to the back here. He may be dealing with a good bit of damage here on the 54 machine. Yikes.
Well, I mean, and Patrick right here, I mean, we talked about this right here with Darlington, but we didn't actually talk about how abrasive this track really is. I mean, this track is absolutely wore out. I mean, Dover is wore out. Darlington is wore out. I mean, there's a lot of tracks that are wore out, but a lot of fans, a lot of drivers on iRacing, a lot of fans that watch racing love seeing these races at these wore out tracks because we get tire wear, and that's something that it plays a big factor into races of people being able to use strategy, being able to save tires and everything. So I'm not real sure if that's what caused this incident. I mean, granted, they was on sticker tires. I mean, they started. I don't know if it was just he throttled up so quick and just spun the tires. I don't know. I mean, maybe he was in the wrong gear. Maybe he was, Patrick. I'm not real sure. But from what it looked like, he just hammered down on the throttle, just spun the tires, and it just snapped sideways on him.
Yeah, you're completely right about that. I would want to take a poke, though, and see if we can...
In-car.
Yeah, we're going to take a peek here and see if I can find something that might actually assist us, because fortunately, we are able to see definitely an inside view of what happens here. And I'm trying to see if I can find Mr. Caleb Gilbert here. And here we are, Caleb Gilbert. And that looks like first gear. Oh, no. You see how he sidestepped it. It hit that 9,000, tried to slide into second, and it jerked. Wow. Yeah, he was able to escape that, but that is going to kind of take out a lot of guys from this race here. Jeffrey Israel and Wayne Lowe dealt with some substantial damage here. They are already a couple laps down, just trying to get back onto the track. And Kevin Orlando also kind of smashed to pieces as well, so he'll be starting way back here from where he originally started. That drops even Kevin Orlando down 6 positions. Caleb Gilbert's down 21. So let's get this one back underway and try this again. James Loveland, off he goes. Raiders following in tow. Tay McDonald sitting on the inside of him, and we'll see if Brandon Dunford can clear him. Outside line has always seemed to be definitely the top dominant, and being able to have maintain more control. But with these next-gen cars, it's so hard to tell. You know, you're able to get a good line, you're able to get a good setup for the turn. But guys triangulating the turn is going to be a big favorite here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a big favorite on this right here. And a lot of these guys right here that were able to miss that wreck, some of these guys that were in the back that probably didn't have maybe that good of a qualifying effort, this is a time for those guys to be able to shine, especially if they were able to miss this wreck. I mean, we talked about it last week at Kansas, you know, starting at the back. Some of those guys that were starting at the back was able to progress themselves forward, just capitalizing on other people's misfortunes. So I'm not real sure. I mean, I haven't actually looked and seen any of the guys that were starting in the back. I mean, right here, here's one right here, 4th place. 3rd place now, Trevor Earnhardt. Started 15th in this race all the way up to 3rd, Patrick.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting ready to say. 12 positions he's gained. That's why I was saying he might be looking for that hard charger spot. Only person to gain another spot more than him is Parker Johnston, but he is just fallen down to the 11th position outside the top 10. So a lot of guys moving up. Michael Bennett's moved up 12, and Parker Johnston's moved up 12. Jackson Lomax up 11, but definitely big-time shuffles here that we're seeing moving around out here on the track. Out there in the chat, I'm already seeing Blake Simpson. No, Mr. Grant Thorpe is not racing tonight. He did not make it. So I think a little work carryover for him is going to cause a little bit of a tangle up. But right now, Loveland out by almost a second. And I don't know if anybody noticed the Darlington race before. Some guys, Truex was able to take off big time during the Darlington race, but just unable to maintain that for the entire set end of the stage. And these guys will be able to run away, but they're going to get reeled back in. So Rader taking his time, sitting back, conserving these tires, and try to run these guys down a little bit later here in the run.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to just try to preserve his tires. I mean, just like you said, I mean, there's no sense in driving it really, really hard. I mean, we got a stage break coming in, 35 laps at lap 45, I believe it is. So, I mean, you know, he's doing pretty good. I mean, he's good where he is on points and everything. He's just trying to be able to save what he's got. He's going to let Loveland just go on out there and start burning them up. And right now, from what it looks like, he's actually caught him by a 10th right here at a half a second right now from Rader to Loveland. So that's you know, Robert Rader knows what he's doing. The little amount of races that I've been able to sit here and announce these races with y'all, I've noticed that Robert Rader is one of the top dogs in this series right here, and he's showing it right here. Picked up 2 tenths right there on James Loveland. So as you're riding on board with Rob Rader right here, you can just watch him right now closing in on James Loveland. He is catching him big time, but you see how he's really focused right there on that webcam. You got to start to wonder. Look at him sawing that wheel, sawing the heck out of it, just trying to keep control of it. So we got to watch Rob Rader. I mean, like I said, he's one of the top dogs in this series, but maybe, hopefully, he's not watching that carrot dangle in front of him, and hopefully he's not burning his tires up trying to get James Loveland there, Patrick.
Yeah.
Well, he's got his win in the bag, so he's he can rest easy. He still likes to win, but at least he's cinched his placement.
Well, he's trying to reel him in. Rader checking down at that relative, trying to see how much closer he's getting. He's got to him less than a quarter of a second. Rader sitting second, trying to reel in Loveland. Loveland may be in a little bit of danger here. I'm waiting to see if Earnhardt decides to catch up and grab a hold of him. But Loveland, low contact with the wall. And I did want to mention there a little bit. Remember I was talking about triangulating this turn. Rader actually going down, dropping those left side tires below the dotted line and then riding high between 1 and 2. It is an interesting tactic here. Now, yes, it does put a lot of pressure on those right side tires, but I just don't think it's going to be that much of an issue here. Seeing how 147 laps, we got 5 sets down pit road, so I think guys, when they have to pit and when they come in for these stages, tires may be a must. They'll just go ahead and throw them on and get really get back out there. Moving on back, let's take a look at Michael Bennett here, 9th position for him, following behind Brandon Dunford. Now, Dunford had moved up a good bit of positions here, but has actually been falling back. He made it through the wreck, but he's being caught here very, very quickly by the number 14 slurp machine, number 14 Ford here of Michael Bennett. Now, Bennett has really been on a charge here in the past couple of weeks, but, he's kind of got the Justice Murphy aspect here. He's got that win under his belt. Now he's just trying to get some solid finishes here.
Yeah, that's exactly what, Patrick, you calling us is right on the money. I mean, just trying to get solid finishes, and that's what a lot of these drivers right here need to get, is solid finishes. And one of the guys, that really needs a solid finish is the guy that's in front of Brandon Dunford, and that's Nick Alves. Past 2 weeks in Dover and Kansas, Nick Alves has had absolutely horrible luck, but right now running very, very consistently right now in the top 10, up 5 positions. Started 12th, he's running 7th. So Nick Alves really trying to just, what I think he needs this week, he just needs to be able to just finish and get a good run. That's exactly what he needs. He doesn't need anything special. He doesn't need anything glitz or glamour. Now, I'm sure he would want that. Any racer would. I mean, everybody wants to win. I mean, that's just any racer's mentality. But if I'm Nick Alves, I just want to be able to finish this week, finish on the lead lap, get solid points, and get some confidence back, because I'm telling you, past 2 weeks, like I said, they've been treacherous for him, so that's exactly what he needs is confidence.
Yeah, 09 and John Fike having a little bit of trouble as we pull up the track map. Jeffrey Israel in the number 6. The woes continue for him. He's continuing to have a hard life here in the Racing Revolution League. He just kind of can't seem to get a break here. And that just, it really hurts that Element X Racing team to have one guy, I'm not saying the weakest link, but right now, it's not that he's not toting the line. He just can't get the break. Every race he comes out here, every race we see him qualifying at least top 15, and he gets obliterated. Lap 1, he got hammered. It's just, Jeffrey Israel right now, he needs a 4-leaf clover. He needs to figure out some sort of luck out here to get back on track and to fight his way back to the front, because it is just impossible when you start in the back at Darlington to really flip the script. The real Darlington race, Ross Chastain started outside the top 20 and led almost the final third of that race. So it is still a possibility for him to come and fight that back. But I would almost put my money here on Blake Cook actually coming back and fighting this one, tooth and nail, seeing that he is right now sitting 19th, trying to resurrect his race. But he's going to need a couple of good, solid pit stops to get that done.
Yeah, and he's going to get a very, very solid pit stop, we hope, right here in the next 15 laps when that stage break comes. And right now, some of these guys, Blake Cook, Alex Bourget, Caleb Gilbert, Blake Cook, these guys that's in the back that got caught up in all that incidents, Jeffrey Israel, all those guys that got caught up in that lap 1 wreck, right now they're just waiting on that stage break to be able to go in, possibly get some more damage fixed, make some adjustments, to get their car lined up the way that they want it to, that way that they're going to be able to be competitive. So, very unfortunate to see all of that. Wow, Brandon Dunford really loose off of turn number 4. Wow, Michael Bennett going to slide right up to his back bumper, make a killer run. But going back to what I was saying, these guys right here, they just need to be able to just try to just clock off what they can. And all these guys are just waiting to that stage break, Patrick.
I would probably say, looking at the race and the way the tires wear here, we got a fuel mileage here of about 35 to 38 laps. I don't see him making it past 37, but 38 may be possible. Right side tires and throw it back out there. There is no way I would take 4 before this stage break. These guys got to get back out there. You've got to maintain, and sometimes you may be able to flip it, like Caleb Gilbert.
Got a wreck in the back. Michael Bennett getting spun. No caution right here. I'm not really sure if he got contact, but his engine is blown right now. I'm seeing smoke coming out of the car. Still no caution. He's going to have to spin it around right here with the traffic coming here in a minute. But he's going to be able to safely get that to the pit road area. But very unfortunate for Michael Bennett. He was running very, very good there for just a little bit. Up closer to the top 10, so very unfortunate to see that.
Yeah, this is huge. We'll take a look at Michael Bennett, kind of see what happened here. Oh!
Tag the wall.
Yep, turn number 2, got him.
Darlington stripe.
Yep.
What I don't see is the caution flag.
No. Now, there's one weird thing here about Darlington. It's extremely hard to get a caution here, especially if it lines up below that dotted white line. You can blame iRacing for that, as these guys just unable to, get that caution he's looking for. And really what has me at this point is actually James Loveland actually has been passed by Robert Rader back on lap 16. He was actually
And Earnhardt.
overtaken. Yeah, and Earnhardt taking a look back at that pass. See if we can find a good angle and see if he kind of set him up. Looks like 3 and 4 may have been the successful turn. Oh, man, what a good cut.
Ooh.
So Raider
That is what you call a slide job right there, Patrick. He just slid it straight down in there and came straight up.
Oh, yeah.
We're just
Wow.
missing the dirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, but that is exactly what Raider loves. He loves getting out front, get that fresh air, and now look at what he's done. He's half a second in front of Loveland, but now is that tire fall off starting to happen. Best times out there for Raider right now are 29.37. His last time was the 30.16. So we're starting to already get a decent amount of fall off here, almost a full second before we're even coming down for that pit stop around lap 37, about 35, 37 here. I would probably see guys seesawing back and forth, but the one I'm keeping an eye on here, Trevor Earnhardt. A big time moves. Like I said, he's up 13 positions. Now is sitting second, and we're kind of waiting this out as something happened here. Looks like Raider let off the gas there. Uh-oh. What in the hell?
Maybe
is
those
going on?
tires are. Oh,
Earnhardt almost loses it, gets up into Robert Raider. Here comes James Loveland,
Nice.
going to try to capitalize on it.
recovery.
Now, of course, you know me. I'm going to put Raider here on the deal and see if he's having a problem with the wheel. Something happened there because for some reason, it let off the gas. Earnhardt slid underneath, and then Raider got loose and popped him there. I don't know if something's going on. Earnhardt may return a little payback for that one. I don't know if Earnhardt has any damage to the front end of his machine here. Not looking like everything's a-okay. Taking a little ride inside, maybe on the right front. All right, no bow up there, so Earnhardt able to pull this one apart and try to see if he can stay alive. Pit crew will take a peek at it when he comes down pit road, which is in about that 5-lap mark. Now, Stella, this is pretty wild. Unusual for Raider actually let off the gas there. It looked like there was a bit of a disconnect issue.
Yeah, and just from seeing him race before, he does not usually have his hands on the center wheel. He's pretty much a good, 10 and 2, 9 and 3 driver. So I am curious whether he's got something going on there on the wheel, like you say.
Or possibly a pit strategy change. I'm wondering if he's trying to see if he can change what his pit strategy is going to be. But we don't talk about Justice Murphy a lot. Justice Murphy sitting back here in that 6th position. Awesome job. See him sliding on up. 11 positions for him. And that number 12, All About Bug Chevrolet. Glad to see him really rocking it here because, boy, this is a tough track. And he really needs a good break here. I would love to see Justice Murphy finally get, a decent top 5 finish here to really kind of start heating up here. He's got to start getting a good run. Otherwise, he's going to be in a lot of trouble when it comes time for the playoffs.
Yeah, I did see him scoot through that initial first lap wreck, and was glad to see it because sometimes he has a magnet on him for the accidents.
All right, maybe the backwards hat is bringing him a little bit of a rally cap here, and hopefully that will go ahead and save him here. Definitely our guys here in the front. And I want to still even, we're talking about Justice Murphy here and being able to get a solid run here. I believe he is also in the running for their bracket challenge. Grant Thorpe unable to make it, so he will have the automatic go through, and he will be challenging the winner of Jeremy Burns there's a stack up here. Jeremy Burns or Nick Alves. Oh, there it is. There's the contact.
There goes Justice Murphy in the wall.
No,
Takes
quick
Robinson with
off,
him.
off,
Wow.
off.
Yes.
Caution is out. Justice Murphy involved, and so was Matthew Robinson. Fortunately, the caution came out. They are going to re-stack them back where they were, but Stella.
Yeah.
Pit timing. This couldn't be any better for pit timing.
True, because they've got, would you figure 37 laps on their fuel.
Right.
Their tires, but they're fixing to have a stage break here at 45. So, do they try to pull it along and get a few extra, or fill up now and then fill up again?
That's a heck of a question. Now, Jacob, what do you think? Do we take 2 tires, 4 tires, or splash and go here? Because this is looking pretty dicey that it could be the make or break come to these playoff points.
Well, yeah, I mean, in this instance, now, you know me, I'm all for taking them 4 tires, but with this instance, knowing we're fixing to get an automatic caution at lap 45, I would not be surprised to see some of these guys taking 2 tires. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of them, like you said, just put enough gas in it to make it to the end of the stage break and just come straight out there. So you might see a lot of guys
Oh,
doing
Oh,
something different. Wow, got one spinning going in the
doing
pits.
Caleb
something really
Gilbert.
different.
Caleb Gilbert is around again.
Oh,
Mm. Wow.
Boy, he is not going to be a happy camper today. Caleb
No.
Gilbert is really getting hammered around a lot, and it's not. How he's going to be able to keep his composure is really going to be impressive here. How, what he does.
I mean, he came in second place last season at this track. It was Nick Alves, Caleb Gilbert, and Smoot.
Well, Patrick, this particular pit road here, this is something that we have yet to talk about because we haven't been able to see pit stops like this right here. But this is a very tough pit road, as you can see, very, very narrow between the barrels and the inside walls. So very, very narrow. And it's going to be really tough on some of these guys when they're coming in to get green flag pit stops. Like Dover, I talked 2 weeks ago about Dover being one of the hardest pit roads to get on. Well, I'm going to have to correct myself because this right here is one of the hardest pit roads to get on because your
this.
tires are hot, slick. I'm telling you, yeah, just
So, in other words, Caleb just did a fourgette.
Yeah, he just
Oh,
hammered
man.
the barrels here.
Yeah.
Holy cow, he just
That could be his
hammered
night.
the barrels. So Justice Murphy's going to have even more damage along with the 54 machine, and I think Caleb may be down pit here for a good while after that quick lick here. That is not going to be very, very good for his run here tonight. This has been a brutal beating here for Caleb Gilbert, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to cycle out of this. See that right front wheel? I think he broke the toe link. That may have
So
done him in for the night.
So Timmy Ray is out here in the chat saying that he thinks he needs to air down the tires 15 pounds on each side. Now, my question is, these are fixed setups. Is airing up or down the tires a thing you can change?
Absolutely not. You can change
Okay.
absolutely zero except your brake bias.
Sorry,
Yep.
Timmy Ray.
Yeah, that is the only tough part when you get down here for anything like that. But notice Trevor Earnhardt returning back down to pit road, as well as Parker Johnston. Huh. Interesting. I'm wondering if there's a little something going on here with the Tire Slayer Racing, if they have a different idea. Obviously, it looks like Mr. Loveland is not thinking the same thing. But we've got a lot of guys down pit for extended amounts of time. Dylan Smoot was coming down pit. Alex Forget down pit. Jeffrey Israel. Caleb Gilbert, he's still broken pretty bad there. I believe Mr. Ray Lane is taking it to the garage. Michael Bennett still obliterated here after that lick we saw him take to the inside wall. And I think Wayne Lowe has taken it to the garage. So this is a wild run here. And Darlington really, it's living up to its name. This track is pretty tough to tame, and a lot of these guys are really getting schooled here. How close these walls are getting to the right side of these cars.
Yeah, they are absolutely very tight. And as I said earlier, Patrick, this track, very, very narrow. It's real hard to get around, especially too wide without getting into somebody. It's got that little bit of a short track feel to it, where, people are going to be able to make contact with one another, and they're just going to have to deal with it.
Alrighty, as these guys get lined up after their choose cone, get lined up here for the next restart. Here we go. Raider, off he goes. Definitely an obvious swing here. Raider getting a fantastic start. That's going to drop Tay McDonald down. Nick Alves, who won the last time here at Darlington, sitting second. But Raider, fresh air, half a second away. So away they go. I would say pit stops, actually 4 tires for just about everybody, except Kevin Orlando, who had an 11.82 pit stop time. I'm hoping these guys are able to kind of keep it real calm, that they're able to let these tires settle in just a hair before they lose any sort of positions. John Fike is returned back to the top 10 here. Looks like 4 tires for him, top 10. And just outside of that is Justice Murphy fighting a lot of front-end damage here tonight. So he's sitting 11th, but he would love to get some issues here. But I think Kynan's in it.
Oh, man, yeah, Kyman Jones. Looked like he got tapped a little bit, and it just sent him on for the ride. Wow.
Caution. That is going to do it. I believe we were within that 5-lap limit here, so that may do it for the stage.
Yes, we are.
Holy cow. I tell you what, this is... This race is turning into quite the show here, trying to keep all these going. Right now, that is the 3rd caution of this race. First one, we didn't even make lap 1. Let's take a look. Oh, man. Is that Richardson? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Heavens.
Well, I think what gets me is the guys
And 4
hitting
cars slam into the wall.
I think that's what gets me is the guys that are hitting the wall after the fact.
Yeah.
All right, we got to find a different area of why these two hooked. You know, I bet you I've got the right angle. Watch this.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like Kyman Jones just came down right across his bumper. That's exactly what it looks like. I mean, Brandon Richardson, he's right on the bottom of the track, right up against the dotted white line right here. And you see, here he goes. He makes the move. Yeah, Kyman Jones, it looks like he just came straight down on top of him. I mean, I'm calling it the way I see it, Patrick, and that's exactly the way it looks.
Yeah, definitely a miscommunication here. But, man, look at all these guys hammering the wall. Blake Cook, bam, into the wall. Takes out the 96 of Jackson Lomax. Lomax got hammered
Thanks,
there.
pal.
Yeah, wasn't even involved in the whole deal. Earnhardt!
Oh. That was a squeaker.
Man, what?
I'm going to go on record and say that Earnhardt closed his eyes when he went through that.
Holy cow, that was close. Holy cow, that was close. How in the world did he miss? How in the world did he miss?
I don't know. We'll call it a good net code.
Oh, my goodness.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Look at that. Oh, my gosh.
Ooh.
Look how close. Oh, my. Man. Holy cow. I guarantee you Trevor's screaming, dude, stop. Hit the brakes. Almost got wiped out here. So right now, pit road, no one visited. Hey, in the top 6, Raider, Alves, McDonald, Robinson, Richardson, and John Fike did not revisit pit road. Everybody else decided to come back down. Looks like a couple of guys, 2 tires, the rest of them 4 tires again. And I got to admit, you know, if you're somebody like Brandon Dunford, who we don't talk a whole lot about, 24 seconds down pit road. Not a speeding penalty here, but it looks like he may have tried to maybe fix some of that damage that number 56 Toyota suffered here tonight.
Yeah, it's been bumped around just a tad.
Man, that was tough. That was tough. So right now, let's see if anybody is out of the race here. Jeffrey Israel spending an extended amount of time down pit. Again, Justice Murphy looks like he is returning to pit, but he's on his way out. So the number 12 machine back out there again. Jeremy Burns, Alex Forget working their way down. Talk about this. Interesting switch up here again, and I think Jackson Lomax is going to be the final driver to come back down pit road here. Maybe trying to fix some of that damage. Really, you can't spend the rest of this race damaged. You've got to get this thing fixed, and now is the time, as this will be the final scheduled caution, at least that we are counting that for on this run. But they've got to hurry up as the pace car lights are out. We return back under green. As soon as these guys exit 4, hit that restart area. And Stella, this is looking pretty wild here for what these guys have been able to accomplish here in the first 45 laps.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the 10 laps of green flag racing at Darlington, that's just kind of normal.
Yeah.
So having 3 in 45,
Yeah, I'd love to see more. I know they're trying, but I think just with the new tire model, the new updates they've given to these next gen cars, that's exactly what we're seeing. A couple of guys are trying to skirt out of pit here pretty quick. Jackson Lomax trying to hurry up and get out there, but let's get back underway as green flag is out, and of course the number 53 Chapman Environmental Services Ford is away, and here we go. Let's see if Matthew Robinson can find his way through here, as it looks like Tay McDonald a little slow on the accelerator, drops him back down into fourth. Brandon Richardson, who just made contact there with Kynan Jones, not pointing any fingers at anybody, but the two of them have been in scuffles before, the number 29 and the 99 there of Kynan Jones. Right now, Richardson's dropped down to the 5th position, 17 positions gained for him here tonight, so awesome job here by the number 29 machine out there on the track.
Yeah, and that's awesome to see for Brandon Richardson to be able to make some great moves right now. Currently sitting 5th. Started this race 22nd, Patrick. So this is big moves right here for Brandon Richardson. You know, and it seems like, you know, we're kind of a broken record talking about, you know, starting at the back, you know, and working their way to the front. Well, they did it in Kansas and it worked out good. Now you're seeing it right here at Darlington. I mean, it's like I said earlier, you know, drivers capitalizing on other drivers' misfortunes. So good deal right here for Brandon Richardson, starting way back there in the back, running top 5 right now.
Yeah, and I give a little shout out here actually to Trevor Keith in the number 15. We definitely saw he started, looked like he was trying to put a little pressure there on Trevor Earnhardt as Earnhardt squeaked on by, but I really give it to him. Definitely carrying a solid pair there as he got so close to making contact with the 21 Chevrolet of Earnhardt. Trevor Keith definitely showing he can hang with the boys, and there's no reason he doesn't deserve a top 10 here tonight. But man, oh man, he's trying to reach out to grab a hold of one of the fastest guys out here on the track, Trevor Earnhardt, but he's got our pole sitter of James Loveland out front, so right, you know, who's sitting behind him. So right now he is right stuck in the middle of a bunch of fast cars. He's got to figure out his work around here and try to figure out where he fits in on this one. Earnhardt looking around Kevin Orlando in the 27 Starry machine, but he, you know, Kevin Orlando, a lap 1 wreck, and he had cleared it. He had cleared the wreck, and then he still got tangled up in it. But Kevin Orlando returning back to the top 10 here, sitting 7th, up 7, so not too shabby here by the number 27 Ford of Kevin Orlando.
Yeah, not too shabby right here with Kevin Orlando, you know, keeping it up there. You know, some of these guys, they, you know, got caught up in that first wreck, Patrick. These guys, wow, Kevin Orlando's going to go on the wall. Gets turned. Oh my gosh, John Fike. Wow, wow, that kind of looked like a Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano kind of deal, Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson deal.
There it is.
Wow, I mean, Kevin Orlando just sent it and just he tried to make it stick, and it just did not stick.
Yeah, but if this is a Larson Chastain, he would have kept riding him T-boned all the way around
Drove
the corner.
him through the backstretch because somebody was upset about that. Let's take another look here and see what... It looks like Kevin Orlando made the shot for the inside here. He's got the lane. Well, I'm wondering if Kevin Orlando, when he dropped it off and hit that flat surface when he tried to return, it caught him.
I don't know, Patrick. To me, honestly, it looked like he just got that good. I mean, you got a killer run right there on John Fike, just coming off of Ford, and you see it right there. He had the run, and he just sent it in there, and it just didn't stick, and he came up, and wow.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Earnhardt right on, I mean, that, wow, he got lucky. If he didn't get any damage right there out of that, he got really lucky. Looked like it was a little bit of net code, to be honest with you, for Trevor Earnhardt, so he might get lucky right here with that. But, yeah, I mean, to me, it just looked like Kevin Orlando had a huge run and just wanted to take it, and he thought it was going to stick, and it just didn't.
Man, this right here, this is Darlington for you. There's no rhyme or reason what the heck is going on here tonight. A couple of drivers who have not visited pit road. Brandon Richardson still out there. Earnhardt, Trevor Keith James Lovin, Brandon Dunford, and Parker Johnston. But we got guys revisiting pit road. Kynan Jones looks like he'll be the first one off on lap 52, as he'll be assuming the position in 7th. But with the choose cone, we'll kind of see how that works out here and kind of shuffle it back and forth. But Stella, talk to me a little bit here about Chapman Environmental Services, as they are our main sponsor of the race for the Chapman ES.com 200 here tonight.
Wahaha. Huh. So you give it to me this time in a caution, so I definitely have enough time to get it done, right?
Yes.
I hear you. Who would have thought lap 1? All right, well, let's carry on with the fact that their consultants are focused on providing high level of client services and technical expertise. And Chapman has project managers, regulatory and compliance experts, licensed operators, and field technicians who form a cohesive team to address all the needs of their growing client base. So if you need any of their services, please contact ChapmanES.com.
Love it. Love it. Also love to give a shout out there for Ultimate Siding and Gutters, Butt Kicker as well, for sponsoring the league. Of course, Simtrax Broadcasting here, coming to you live. Lap 54 underway right now as we are under our 4th caution here of the night. Little tangle up there with Kevin Orlando into turn number 1. Definitely a heartache for Kevin Orlando. I definitely don't think he's going to be fighting some damage for the remainder here of the night, but he is going to come back onto the track. Hats off to Kevin Orlando in the 27 Ford, not on webcam here tonight. Definitely probably not a face we want to see smashing into the wall. He's going to be pretty upset here.
Yeah, after Timmy Ray was giving us some lowdown on what he suggested for tires, which they couldn't do, he passed along some very sad news. His father has passed away from cancer, and his dad was quite the racing legend. He raced for 37 years on the dirt. And let's see, it says there is going to be a fundraiser for his dad coming Saturday at Super Beast Speedway. His name was Charles, and we should pass our deepest sympathies and condolences, Timmy Ray.
Yeah, if you got any more information on that fundraiser, go ahead and post it in that chat, man. I know you join us here every night. The chat is free to put that kind of stuff on there unless you're one of those spam bots. Then get the hell out of here. I don't tolerate that. Because man, I can't stand those guys. They ruin every one of my broadcasts here. I definitely like being able to make it fun and entertaining for all. But when that kind of stuff goes on out there, it makes it definitely difficult for people to stay concentrated. That's for sure, especially for wandering thumbs, right, Jacob? Alrighty. We are about to get underway here. Pace car lights are off. It is going where it belongs, back down pit road. And Brandon Richardson, Trevor Earnhardt will be starting in the front. And I believe Brandon Richardson, this may be his first restart here of the season. Let's see how he handles that Geico restart zone. Yeah, nice jump there by the number 29 Chevrolet. As 3 Chevrolets occupy the top 3 here. Trevor Earnhardt taking that inside line. Very, very fond of that line. As we see Trevor Earnhardt, as he's going to try to run down Richardson. Now, the pit stop times are about 6 laps apart between these two, if that's going to be any sort of a difference. But I definitely see Earnhardt going ahead and grabbing this lead here right away. Earnhardt and the number 21 slides underneath. He's got the lead, but does Richardson cross him up? He's not going to have the speed, and it looks like Richardson is dropping down to second. James Loveland will sit in a comfortable third. And notice how we are all, after the stack up, everybody's pretty thinned out here. And Kynan Jones sitting 8th position right now with Nick Galv sitting behind him.
I believe they're looking for safety. In this case, safety in numbers is not it.
Yeah, speaking of safety, I think we just saw Robert Rader make contact with the wall. Number 99 machine at Kynan Jones slides underneath. I know these two have been in a scuffle before as well, but Kynan trying to give Rader plenty of room here. But once again, they call Kynan, they watch him and say he's kind of a magnet. Boy, look at that.
Oh.
Rader almost takes his nose off there. Holy cow. Yeah, almost. You know what I would say? This is an act of almost no respect here. I mean, that he had the line, but almost takes the front face of his car off.
Yeah.
But hats off there to Kynan Jones and the number 99 Ford to keep it together. But I believe we are back under caution with the number 27 in more trouble.
Yeah, Kevin Orlando, man, that's very, very unfortunate to see right here. From what I'm gathering out of it, looks like he just came up the racetrack right here with Devin Hudgens. Looks like he just came up. I mean, coming right there off turn 2, that's a very, very hard turn.
It's the exact same. There we go. That's a Larson.
There's the Larson Chastain deal. Yeah, I mean, that turn 2 is very, very tough to be able to hold it on the bottom of the racetrack and not slide up into somebody. I mean, your first instinct when you're coming off that turn, it's very, very tight. It narrows off real, real bad. I mean, it narrows off worse than what it would be going through the turn. So, I mean, Kevin Orlando just tried to keep it on the bottom. Looks like he just came straight up.
Not looking good here. Let's take a look at it here under the replay and ride along with Devin Hudgens to see what the heck happened here. 'Cause this is not looking good. Into the side. Ooh, right there. Boom. Gets doored here.
Wonk.
Yeah, he's got nowhere to go. And Hudgens, after he gets caught here, looks like he might lock up the brakes and try to get him, but it rotates Kevin Orlando back in front of him again. And then he's got nowhere to escape. Nothing better than trying to slow a car down at 180 miles an hour when the guy's sideways in front of you. So, like Kevin Orlando's car says, I guess that one hits different. And,
well, that's going to make the bracket shake up a little bit.
Yeah. Who's Kevin Orlando against today?
He would be against James Loveland.
Oof. And Mr. Loveland will be now sitting third. I think Kevin Orlando will see if he's able to return back to the track.
So in some of our other brackets tonight, we have Justice Murphy with Grant Thorpe. And that's kind of a, what do you call that, a forfeit? Since Grant Thorpe is not showing tonight, Justice Murphy will be moving ahead. And the big one, we've got Blake Cook and Trevor Earnhardt also in contention. And the one we all want to see is Jeremy Burns versus Nick Alves. That would be a repeat of last year's wonderful. That was some hellacious driving last year, just to see them right up, and rocking it.
Yeah. Now next week I'll pull up the bracket here on the broadcast. That way you guys can see exactly what we're talking about here and kind of break it down of how these races went. And then kind of figure out that running, and then we'll kind of show you how we got to that point. The next 2 races will be following along with the bracket as well. And Stella, I believe there's a little money involved in the end of that bracket.
There is. After Charlotte and Gateway, the winner will be taking home $50. That's not bad. That's a lot of new tracks and cars.
Oh yeah. Now I do want to point out something. I kind of try to watch these guys as they do this choose cone rule. And I don't know if some guys are being in violation. Hopefully Blake Cook does not. Because you said where they need to choose. Inside
right
line
there.
is in the painted area.
Yeah, it's the black here. See? This
Right.
black painted area with the logos. They must have 4 tires be below or above this black painted area to choose their line tonight.
Do they have to pass the finish line in that black area? Because I've seen a few guys that are not. They are in the black area and then remove themselves out of the black area across
before the finish line?
Yes, and that's the only part I'm nervous about. I'm going to assume if I get at least 5 or 6 car lengths in the black area, it should be okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much committed.
So I hope so, and I hope it's not going to be critiqued that close. Race control will find that out, and definitely after every restart, they take a check after the race. But it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing they hold people honest.
I have in the rules for them, because normally it's just a tiny little box. It's not something you run through forever. Is just their big thing is all 4 tires have to be in it or outside of it.
Okay.
To choose your lane.
I just didn't know if the finish line came into play. So
yeah.
we'll see. All right, Trevor Earnhardt, he'll be getting our restart here. He's very, very comfortable with this position here. Let's see how he does as we try to get back underway here, try to get some green flag laps on these tires. Definitely the heat cycling can be very, very tricky as these guys get taken off here. Earnhardt sitting first. Now we're single file. Loveland trying to see if he can make the jump now. Trevor Keith, not too shabby here. Top 5. Let's rotate on back to Brandon Dunford in the 56, who looks like he's battling alongside other drivers here. But no, he squeaks away, and Parker Johnson actually working his way in front of Matthew Robinson. Triangulating the turn. Some guys a little slower, some a little faster. Rotating back, Devin Hudgens, who was in a bunch of wrecks here, is now on the inside, I believe, here of Kynan Jones. He's going to be taking a peek. But Kynan, full send into that turn. Make sure he keeps that 84 machine behind him here. And this is chalking up to be a decent race, but we are getting a slew of cautions here.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate to see all the cautions that we're having right here, Patrick. I mean, this would be, real cool, to see, a green flag run. And I'm sure that race control or some of the admins, they've seen everybody get these cautions, get these wrecks kind of out of their systems. And, hopefully they're, got it out of their systems, and they're wanting to get some long green flag runs in right here, which I think is what everybody else is wanting to see, and see the strategy, see the tire wear come into play.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out there to Kevin Orlando. Involved in wreck on lap 1, involved in wreck on lap 51, involved on wreck on lap 58. And he remains out there on the lead lap. He is still rocking it. He has survived, staying out front. And he's trying to maintain here. Justice Murphy as well. Justice has been in a good bit of trouble for most of this night. But man, he's able to get out of it. He's able to fix enough damage to get back out there. But you can see they're well off pace here. Definitely may be down on a good bit of power here.
Yeah, but I mean, Patrick, if you think, go back to last week at Kansas. Think about Nick Alves and all the stuff that he went through last week, just trying and just clawing the whole race to be able to try to get his car fixed and try to be in contention, for the end of the race. And with the end of that race, if I'm not mistaken, I think Nick Alves got a top 10 out of that race, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but, this race is not over by no means, especially for Kevin Orlando, getting caught up in some of the wrecks that he's been able to get caught up in. This race is far from over. Anything can happen. Anybody can DNF. So, I mean, props, like you said, big shout out for Kevin Orlando, just clawing and just soldiering on, because anything can happen. And we're at Darlington, this narrow track, so anything can happen. As we're watching right here, wow, oh my goodness, Kynan Jones getting into Blake Cook. Got in the inside. He was able to save it. No caution, but wow, a great save right there by Kynan Jones.
Yeah, we're taking a look there at Jeremy Burns a little bit. I'll actually rotate back and figure out what happened to Kynan here. Jeremy Burns, if we're talking back at that bracket here, Stella, Jeremy Burns is sitting right now 20th. Nick Alves is 9th. Jeremy Burns, the last one on the lead lap. Is this going to be a big trouble for him, seeing that he has visited pit road 9 times here tonight?
My.
So, let's see what happened with Kynan here. Let's see if I can figure out what got him spun around here at lap 68. Maybe it was 68. I think it was here. Maybe a trouble here with Blake Cook. Taking a look here, trying to see what happened. Blake Cook getting close to the wall. Oh.
They just go door to door right here, Patrick. And, from what it looks like right here, yeah, he looks like he just kind of I think he just kind of missed his entry a little bit and just kind of just slid right up into Blake Cook. And, very fortunate, that he didn't completely slide up and completely throw Blake Cook into the wall. And very fortunate for Kynan Jones to be able to hang on to it, as we're watching it right here in slow-mo. I mean,
look at this net code, though. Look. See the contact?
Yeah.
It's not even there.
Yeah, there is. I mean, that's something that you can't help.
Yep. Oh, man. And then just gets that little nudge. Sends him the rest of the way around. Good Lord. All right, let's go ahead and get back to it here. Earnhardt still leading this one. James Loveland looks like he's taking over Trevor Keith. And away they go. Nick Alves still on the charge up to the front. 9th position for him, but he's fighting along Parker Johnston. Parker's been on a roll here as of late, trying to get some points here, but man, Parker's just got to get some solid finishes. And I think I've been saying that a lot here tonight. A lot of the guys you see that are fast just aren't able to get that last part, finish the race, and they've got to have solid times here. I mean, Alex Forget, he has almost won not one but two races and totaled out of them, so he's got to find something out there. Man, look at that. Alex Forget almost gets taken out by Parker. Parker makes a contact with the wall. Parker is way loose. Contact with the wall again. I don't think he wants to be on the outside any longer.
Nah, I don't think he wants to be up there anywhere near that wall. But going back to Alex Forget, this is something else that you was talking about as well. We talked about Nick Alves needing a confidence booster with all that he's had for the past 2 weeks. Alex Forget really needs a confidence booster. Almost won it over, had a very good car at Kansas, and possibly could have and possibly should have won that race. So, Alex Forget really needs a good confidence booster, and he really needs to have a good finish tonight.
Yeah, talk about the minus Michael Bennett and the trouble he's had tonight. The remainder of the Performance Motorsports team all right now in the top 10. Alex Forget sitting 9th, Nick Alves sitting 8th, Matthew Robinson sitting 7th. If these three guys can get linked up, they could be deadly here tonight. But right now, the ones that matter there are for Tire Slayer Racing. Trevor Earnhardt and James Loveland sitting right now 1 and 2, and that is huge because these guys have really been on the back foot until Loveland came in. Chris Schaefer's had a lot of trouble this season, as well as Parker Johnson. These guys have been battling all season. Just can't seem to get in the right place. And these wrecks aren't just caused by two cars. A lot of these wrecks we've been seeing is two cars involved that now collect 8 or 9 guys, and guys who weren't even involved. Justin Murphy that didn't get involved. Kynan Jones trying to get out of there, getting hammered to pieces, just at the wrong place, wrong time. Nick Alves getting caught up there. Just guys that are unusually in the back of the field. And I think there's something going on here with the iRacing is normally your fast guys qualify high. And recently, Stella, we've been noticing our guys qualifying are extremely low. Our fast guys are always in the back, and I don't understand because that just puts so much more pressure of guys fighting through the field.
Yeah. Well, not just them fighting through the field, but you've got your slower fellas that, are steady and sure, but all of a sudden they've got this person flying past them and they try to push it a little. I'm sorry, but I have to quote Tay McDonald, sometimes you just get a little bit beyond your talent and your car takes off without you.
A little bit of trouble here. Parker Johnson still on the march back here. 15th spot and continuing on back. This is not looking good. A 54 machine, I believe, of Caleb Gilbert is the first one a lap down. So if another caution comes out, lucky dog around will be Caleb Gilbert in the 54 Ford. He'll be able to get at least one of his laps back. He has been dealing with a lot of damage out there. 7 laps down, unfortunately, and that's just terrible. But really, we can go through some of our guys who are out of the race here at the moment. Brandon Richardson working his way down pit now. But Lomax, Ray Lane is out. Michael Bennett looks like he's still down pit, but he is out of the race. Wayne Lowe is out, and Jacob Sirkovich may have some problems and did not connect and stay on the track. But it is getting pretty dicey out here. I'm waiting to see if Brandon Dunford may have a little trouble on his hands. From another driver. Dunford definitely kind of keeping an eye of Trevor Keith in front of him, but Matthew Robinson is actually starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Last lap time for Robinson was about 2/10 faster than Dunford here, and I'm waiting to see if that number 1 Simtrack Chevrolet can get him.
Yeah, and it's very possible to see if he's going to be able to get it. And, Matthew Robinson, he got caught up in a couple instances. We got a caution right here, Patrick.
Well,
oh. Man, can you believe that?
Man.
yes.
Oh, my gosh. Who is in this one? Who is involved? I'm thinking Mr. Fike may be in some trouble in this one. I think John Fike may have been involved, and I don't know. I'm hoping it's not saying Justice Murphy ended up in any sort of trouble. But let's see what happened to John Fike here. causing the yellow flag. We did see how he was triangulating a lot of his turns.
Oh.
Looked like Caleb Gilbert. Look out!
Oh, nice. Oh, don't.
Yep, justice.
Oh,
Boom.
justice.
Well, he tried to pull an Earnhardt move right there, and it just there just was no room to be able to
Yeah.
make it.
Well, we can probably guess that Mr. Fike here will end up being down pit road here. He may have a lot of damage. Seems to be still driving semi-straight here. May have taken it straight to the door. Justice Murphy working his way down pit here. We'll keep an eye and see if he's got any damage to that number 12 and how much more damage can he suffer.
The right front looks pretty ugly. Oh, geez. It matches the left front, though.
Yeah, as the woes continue here for Justice Murphy. I'm sure I would love to bring him into the booth, but now is not the time.
I don't
Now
think
is
so.
not the time. Everybody from the infield car care center has not populated, so it looks like guys are still out there racing around. Boy, Justice Murphy, good Lord. He just can't get a break here tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was thinking Michael Bennett might find his way to the infield care center if he's just sitting in pit right now.
yeah, 41 minutes down pit. Now, the slurp machine is not going to make it back out there, so both slurp machines are down, the 14 and the 18 here tonight. Really heartbreaking for that racing team and that crew out there tonight, but they will continue on to next race. It looks like it'll be, where are we at, Stella? I believe this should be moving us into the All-Star race.
Yes.
Ooh, the Coastal Financial
let's
All-Star race,
see.
guys.
No.
Yes?
Well,
No.
because I'm looking at Charlotte is on the next on the bracket. Let me see what's next on the schedule.
Yes, yeah. The All-Star race is on the schedule. For the bracket-wise, that'll be continued on with Charlotte and Gateway.
Ah, okay. There you go. So we will be at Wilkesboro.
Oh, well, guys, keep an eye out there for the Racing Revolution Facebook, or tune in to their podcast. I'm sure they're going to release all sorts of the goodies on what is upcoming for the All-Star race. I mean, heck, we don't even know. I just know where it is, and we'll see how kind of how that boils down here to go into that race. I'm definitely the All-Star race. I believe 15 or 16 have qualified for that race. And
15.
then those two are going to go at it. Uh-oh. I think Mr. Fike had another problem here.
Oh,
Hopefully
I
it's
thought he
not
was
the-
doing his winning burnouts.
No, hopefully it's not the dreaded barrels here. I think he's trying to get back in to fix some damage. And new tires,
Oh.
baby.
Oh, no.
And we talked about this earlier, Patrick. With this pit road, it's being, it's very hard to get down this pit road right here. So, very, very tricky. So, but the good thing is he kept it off of barrels.
Yes. Yeah, very, very good thing. All right, let's go ahead and get these guys back under... Uh-oh. There we go. Like Justice Murphy's giving him a little nudge there, as Justice Murphy had to spend over 2 minutes down pit road. He's going to work that All About Bugs Chevrolet back out onto the track. Definitely. Man, he is not getting... This is not going his way. Choose cone rule. Raider has determined he wants the outside, and he'll be starting in front of James Loveland, and Trevor Earnhardt has deemed he wants the inside, and he'll be starting in front of Nick Alves. This is a great top four here, and I'm interested to see how they get going. As that pace car lights are off, we're going to be back underway. Guys are hustling around the track here, trying to get back in line because they've got to hurry up here. Let's take a look at that track map as they kind of hurry up, and there we go. Looks like Richardson, Fike, number 12 machine, I believe the 27 of Kevin Orlando. Caleb Gilbert still fixing a good bit of damage. 38 more seconds fixed on his machine and back out there. And they're going to clump back together and let this thing rip again here, guys. I know this is getting pretty sketcy here for some of our drivers. And that's almost the same side. All right, here we go. Raider out in front. This is going to be a duel here between Earnhardt and Loveland. I'm interested to see how well these guys can through. But Nick Alves closing the gap there on Loveland. Loveland getting right in front of him here. And really, once I start seeing these new tires, these guys are going to start bashing each other to pieces. Let's check back here with Devin Hudgens. Hudgens and Smoot been in a little bit of trouble today as well, but the 92 Ford to Smoot on the outside. Man, he's in a tight spot.
Man, he's in a very, very, very tight spot right there. And wow, Hudgens just kind of just probably let Smoot go right there a little bit. Just, you know, he's probably seen, you know, a couple of guys this had it on the bottom right there, and Hudgens actually played it very smart right there. Let Smoot go right there. That way Hudgens wouldn't be able to try to jam it up into him and try to get into him. But check this out. Alex Forget, here he comes. He gets around Brandon Dunford. So move Alex Forget up to the top 5. And, you know, Patrick, you know, I don't know if we need to bring it up, but, you know, look who's up there. 5th is Alex Forget. Look who's 2nd. It's Trevor Earnhardt. These two guys, they had a little bit of a tangle last week at Kansas, you know, and there was some words that came back and forth between these guys. So, you know, Alex Forget, he's finally got his car lined up. Here he goes past Nick Alves.
Oh, no.
So move him up to 4th. Alex Forget, you better watch him if he gets around that 21 right here, Patrick.
Let me tell you right now, Alex Forget is wheeling that car around here. I am impressed. He is flying around there. You see how he flossed right around Nick Alves. Alves looks like he goes in and lets him by. But once again, I said before, Performance Motorsports was sitting 7, 8, and 9. Now is sitting 4, 5, and 6. Not too shabby here from these drivers. Alex Forget right now, biggest mover. I wouldn't say from the original of the race. He's only 2. He started in 6th here in the race. But he has battled himself all the way back from that 15th place where he was originally in a tangle-up, and is now fighting his way back to the front after being damaged, after getting some solid pit stops. I mean, he has taken no chances. Alex Forget has been down pit road 9 times as well. The last time on 83 with everybody else, only person to pit more times is Burns, who's sitting now 12th. And 4 tires and back out onto the track. He's taken no chances. But is he running out of rubber down pit road? Is he going to be running out as well? I believe we are back under caution. Number 99 machine involved in this one.
Oh,
My goodness. Common Jones getting caught up in another one right there, Patrick. And it seems like, you know, I mean, you know, Kynan, he's trying. It just seems like that the caution bug just bites him every chance that he gets.
Yeah, taking a look, it looks like Blake Cook ricocheting off the wall here. I don't know if something has anything to do with that. Oh, actually kind of got way loose there.
Yeah, that was actually behind Blake Cook. I mean, he just kind of it just snapped that from up under him. And, you know, turn 4, or a lot of iRacing drivers will tell you, turn 2 is the one that you get tied in. Turn 4 is the one that you get loose in. And, you know, which is, you know, in the case for me is it has been for a lot of drivers. So, you know, just kind of just step that from under him right there. And, you know, one thing about this, Patrick, is something that I don't know if they're doing, but these guys might actually be shifting in these corners like they would in a regular NASCAR Cup race. So, you know, it's a possibility he might have downshifted from 5th to 4th. And then put it in 4th, and then that's just higher RPMs, and he might just spun it out. But
You know,
I'm
yeah.
not
He was
real sure.
definitely on evasive maneuvers.
Oh, man, and did you call it? You see there in that dash? 4th gear.
And them high RPMs right there will get you every single time. I mean, it's good. It's good to try to get that speed and be able to get it off the corner and help that car rotate. But if you just give it too much gas, you'll lose it.
You think he was doing that money shift, never leaving for?
That I don't know. that I'm not 100% on though.
All right, look out there in the chat. Even Wayne Lowe saying he's shifting into 5th, and 2 and 4 in the 4th. So yeah, maybe it may be an idea. A lot of guys do what they call the money shift. You know, just being able to kind of squeak through. But this looking, is it worth it? I mean, it obviously is dangerous. I mean, it's looking pretty insane here. But as these guys get around here, let's take a quick look at our championship run here of where these guys all stand. Trevor Earnhardt right now leading the charge here with 258 points. Jeremy Burns sitting second with 349, and only 3 points behind that is Caleb Gilbert. But you kind of start seeing Element X right now, 3 of their drivers sitting top 5, and TriStar with Grant Thorpe, who's unfortunately missing here tonight, it's may drop him out of the top 5. Seeing how everybody else finishes here. Justice Murphy rounding out the top 20. He's got to get some solid finishes here to get really get back on that charge. I've said it once, I'll say it again. He's got to get this thing under control, because whatever keeps magnetizing to him, he's got to get out of it. It's got to change. But talk about James Loveland. He's only really competed, I think, in 3 races here so far, Stella. And I think James Loveland came back at Bristol Dirt, I believe, Talladega.
And he did win. However, it didn't lock him into the playoffs, but it definitely gave him a nice big shove as far as some points go.
Yeah, him already sitting at 28th position, so another solid finish for him tonight is really going to start rocking him up that points battle here to get back to the front, and really, I like giving a shout out there to James Loveland, because he sacrificed last season to allow somebody else to get into the playoffs. Work had gathered him up pretty bad there, but him being able to take over and try to get back into the playoffs would be fantastic. Let's take a look at some of these guys with this choose cone rule. Where's Justice? Justice still tailing out there. 45 and a half more seconds down pit road for Justice. Man. So we are 7 cautions into this one. 96 laps. For the ChapmanES.com 200. What a wild ride this has been for most of these drivers. I would say, people like, that have come, who decide to come down pit, people who didn't. The shuffle has begun. Because guys with different pit strategy. Kynan came down on 93. Blake Cook came down on 93. Justice Murphy revisited back on 94. But everybody else remains out on the track, and they haven't pit since 83. They've got plenty of time. I mean, only about 13 laps on fuel here. Been a caution or 2 between that time. But let's go ahead and see how some of our drivers get back underway. Man, look at that camera angle. Robert Rader going to get us to our next restart here. See if there anybody jumps. Ooh, a little nudge there by Alves in the back of Loveland, and away we go. Alves was hungry to hit the gas, but had to let way off not to cause any problems. So now Alves is going to drop way back, getting pushed by Brandon Dunford. Dunford not looking to lift at all, and let's see how Forget holds on the inside of Loveland.
Oh, we got a wreck in the back. Blake Cook getting spun. Oh my goodness.
No caution.
No caution.
We'll take a quick look at that crash and see what happened here. Kynan again.
Oh,
Dude,
my goodness.
Justice made it.
Wait a second. What happened to Kynan here? Did you see when he went around? It snapped to the side, makes contact. Wait, watch this. It's like it was weird. It's like his car hit a wall. What in the world is going on here? So now
Big
Kynan Jones and
Darlington
Blake Cook.
wall.
Yeah, Kynan Jones and Blake Cook back down pit road here. And that may do it for Kynan. I don't know if he's dealing with a connection problem. Let's get back up to the front. Raider. Earnhardt.
He claims car contact, so I don't know if you want to take another angle at that.
So he's thinking he got sent. All right, we'll take another look. We'll take a look. I'll see if Kynan ended up in any sort of trouble here. Definitely want to give him the benefit of the doubt here. Oh, hold on. Is there anything going on with the 29?
Oh.
Net code 29
Big
into
time.
Kynan. That's what happened. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Where it
Big
replayed
time
it there
net
for
code.
us.
That was like a 6-foot net code. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah. No, he didn't. Once again, Kynan caught up in another wreck, and he didn't do anything. He was sitting there and then because you saw the 29 come up, and then Kynan's car jerked to the side.
Zoof.
And then nothing happened, but we're going to assume the best of things that was not,
an overcorrection.
or the big I word, intentional.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say. Intentional.
Yeah, because him and the 29 had been in it once before. And I'm sure we'll see the B box getting rolled open on that one. So we'll see how that goes. Nick Alves back to 6th. Robinson now sitting 5th. fifth, and Forget sitting third. Not too bad. James Loveland in that fourth position. But Trevor Keith still hanging out here in the top 10. Unfortunately, he's dropped down to ninth, but 11 positions from where he originally started. Not too shabby here as we watch Tay McDonald. Let's see how he holds up here as he's trying to see if he can negotiate around the 56 machine of Brandon Dunford. Tay McDonald, look at the concentration here. Love it. Lap 103 beginning here in this race, and this is definitely going not as swimmingly as the actual race that we saw on Sunday. But you know, it's a lot of it you're seeing the same problems. We got a lot of problems out of turn between 3 and 4 with the different shifting, and a lot of problems on exits of 2. And it's just, it's more realistic. To me, it brings more life to the track and more life to iRacing here, seeing that it almost imitates exactly what you see out there on TV.
Yeah, that is absolutely awesome, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about iRacing and some of the tracks that we're able to go to is it imitates exactly, like you said, exactly what it is like to actually drive on a real racetrack. So that's awesome, you know, that people, you know, just random people, you know, that are able to, you know, grab a computer and get a subscription and get all that, you know, good stuff and be able to get in here and race this right here, actually be able to get the actual feel that a real NASCAR driver is able to get without the possibility of having to pay $250,000 if they wreck the car. Yeah. So, I mean, that's always a plus right there when you ain't breaking the bank.
Yeah, no maintenance, no tires, no chance of some serious injury.
There we go.
Here we go. I bet you I stole that one for you, Stella. I think I remember that from the previous broadcast. You said there's no chance of some serious injury.
I stole it from George Carlin, so it's okay.
Okay. All right, well, taking a look here at Jeremy Burns, trying to see if he can bring back his Darlington race here. There's that triangulation. Look at him. Sliding to the inside. Parker looks like he's going to be moving back to the 14th as the 13 has now been freshly gained here by Jeremy Burns. So still pretty tight race. Nick Alves sitting 6th and Jeremy Burns 13th for that bracket challenge. We'll see if those two meet up. As we can remember anything about last season, as those were the two that needed to get the win here at Darlington to squeak into the playoffs. It was definitely an interesting one. I know I would say he probably had a little bit of help. But,
little bit.
Let's just say Travis Gilbert in the 341 last season got the worst of it. He was not going to make it past the steel curtain that was in front of him. That was
Nick. But that was not the case when it was just Nick Alves and the Mountain Man, because he raced his race and he raced it well. It was just at the end there was some assurances made.
that there was. Take a look at Dylan Smoot in the 11th position. Looks like he's running the DuPont Ford here. Looks like Nicorette sitting on his hood. Pretty cool black and green scheme he's got here.
So Jeff Gordon throwback paint scheme, which is you know, the theme, I guess you could say, for Darlington Raceway to have throwback paint schemes. But Patrick, I know you've been talking about some of these guys that's been back here in the back, but I was thinking, you know, I've been sitting here watching this battle right here for a second between Trevor Earnhardt and Alex Forget. These guys were literally leaning on one another at one point. Alex Forget got a couple of good runs to try to get around Trevor Earnhardt, trying to take over the second place position. And I know I talked about it earlier, and I know we all love the drama. And going back to last week, these two guys had a little bit of a scuffle, a little bit of, you know, somebody got rubbed wrong the wrong way, a little bit of hard racing that turned into a little bit of controversy, I guess you could say. So Trevor Earnhardt trying to hold a very, very steady wheel, and Alex Forget is absolutely filling his mirror full right now, just trying to get Trevor to make a mistake.
Yeah, I would love to keep an eye here on Trevor Earnhardt. Notice the hand on the shifter. We're money shifting it. Down the 4th he goes. Drops it down to get the acceleration out of the turn here. Once he gets close to the Geico restart zone, he kicks it up one more time. There it is. man. So notice not between 1 and 2. He remains in 5th gear between 1 and 2. But 3 and 4,
He's at the
hard
wall.
on it. Oh, no. Earnhardt may be in some trouble here because that's exactly what Alex Forget wants to see. Is Earnhardt making contact with that wall? Earnhardt really been on a good roll here so far, but Raider looking to get his 2nd win and really back-to-back. He could really use this one, I know that's for sure. But you know, he had 8 wins? 8 or 9 wins there, Stella, that he had last season.
I believe 8.
8 wins, and now he's going to see if he can get his 2nd here as he's led the most. Oh, man, yeah. Right now, Alex Forget, that's what he wanted. Right now, he's got to be pretty, lack of words, pretty giddy. He's out in front right now, sitting 2nd. That 19 Toyota has been on a tear here. Remember, Dover, not so good. You know, I mean, kicked butt, not so good. Kansas, man, scuffle after scuffle. Now we're here at Darlington, and we talked to him when he hit those barrels. You know, he is coming on with a vengeance. He wants it, and you see how he's sliding out of turn 2 there. He's coming for the win, and Raiders about to see a miracle of him as he's cut him down to less than half a second here.
Yeah, Alex Forget absolutely reeling in Robert Raider right here. You know, Alex Forget played that very, very smart. I will say that. He basically just rode back there in the back. He took a couple of looks at Trevor Earnhardt, tried to get him as we got a caution right here, Patrick. But, you know, Alex Forget, he tried, you know, and he was able to just let Trevor Earnhardt make the mistake and get 2nd.
Yeah, we are back under caution. That was actually our longest stint under green flag. Lap 97 is when we were crashed and then we got back going again. Linda out there in the chat saying, hang in there, guys, go Tay. Tay McDonald right now sitting 9th, but it looks like on lap 114, Mr. Brandon Richardson may have been in a little bit of a trouble. Richardson is already a lap down here. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happens. Waiting to see if anything. Ooh!
Money shift.
Oh.
That's got to be it, man. I mean, that money shift right there is getting guys off of these corners right here. I mean, it's got about 2 or 3 people, but I mean, that's the thing that you got to do in these next gen cars is you got to do that money shift if you're going to get anything out of it and be able to be competitive and be fast. I mean, you have to do that now.
I think his butt may be sucking vinyl at this point.
Yeah, you see when we were riding there with Justice Murphy, when you got a car going backwards, a whole lot of smoke everywhere. Definitely not where you want to be. Doesn't ever. I would almost say there never seems to be a safe spot. You can't seem to get in the right area. You can't just try to get, you know, and just out of there. You know, you don't want to get caught. But pit road is heating up. Alex Forget.
At least they all got into pit road safely this time.
Yeah, so far so good. No issues here. I'm waiting to see how many guys and what kind of pit strategy. If anybody chooses anything different, man, solid time here by Alex Forget. Fantastic pit stall.
Woo!
Holy cow, Alex Forget wins the race off pit road. James Loveland sits 2nd. Trevor Earnhardt is 3rd. Raider gets out of there 4th. 16.1 seconds there for Raider in this pit stall. That was huge. Seeing that actually Alex Forget did not have the fastest time. Actually, it was James Loveland with a 14.85. Who out of the top 5 was the fastest there. Yeah, Nick Alves actually had a 14.5, which slides him back into the 5th position. Holy cow. So Alex Forget back in the front here. It looks like Brandon Richardson staying out to get one of his laps back here. Holy cow, this is crazy. Already out there in the chat, it looks like kind of insane shifting isn't affecting the spinning so much. It's how the banking changes with the cars. I would almost question if any of these cars are trying to bottom out at all. You know, if they get just so close to the ground, if there's any sort of trouble that these guys are finding out there.
I would question that or that statement as well, to be honest with you, Patrick. I mean, it's like we said earlier. I mean, you want to get the highest RPMs that you're able to get coming off of turn 4. I mean, granted, they're not going to be shifting them 1 and 2 because it's so fast when you're going through that corner, but turn 3 and 4, you've got to downshift it to be able to keep the RPMs up and be able to keep your speed up. But when you're coming off of turn 4, that RPM is going to be jacked, maxed, I guess you could say. Jacked wouldn't be the word to say, but maxed out would be the key word for that. So I would question what he's saying about the shifting's not what's causing the spinning out, because I mean, I could be wrong, but I would question that.
Yeah, I would think as well. You know, you got the high RPM sitting around that 78 to 8,000 mark, and then you're trying to re-accelerate. I would assume if you goose, you goose it, you give it a little too much gas, there may be a chance on worn tires that it's slick and it ends up spinning them a little bit. But it looks like a couple of more drivers are taking it to the garage. Blake Cook and Kynan Jones have now taken it to the garage. Really hats off there to Caleb Gilbert, still remaining out there. I believe he's 5 laps down now, and still fighting this one, that 54 Ford after, lap 1 just didn't go, because this is just obliterated. So right now I've got 16 drivers on the lead lap, and you want to talk about who made it back on the lead lap. Check this guy out. This Kevin Orlando coming back from the dead. Holy
That's
cow.
why you have that
Maybe
never
just
quit
the
attitude.
comatose, not the dead.
Yeah. Well, like a phoenix, he rises from the ashes. He'll be starting back there in the 16th position. Let's see what he can do here as we get restarted. Barney in the flag booth, let him have it. As soon as Alspor's jet is ready to take off, he does. Man, gets an easy 1-2 car lengths here, and away he goes. Great separation. Now let's see if he can hold it here, as the fresh tires are on most everybody's car out here. Rotating on back, let's see if there's already
Loveland.
some trouble.
Wow, Loveling, he got loose, and Nick Alves kind of got into him, kind of jacked him up a little bit, almost spun him. But wow, Loveland's going to lose a lot of spots right here, Patrick.
Oh yeah, and Raider into the wall between 3 and 4. Massive damage to the right front tire. We'll see if that cuts him down, but it looks like Loveland. He's gone. Hold it.
Come back up, save it. And
No
he
caution.
saves it. I believe he's going to save it. Big time save right there by James Loveland. That was some driving right there, folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that-
if this makes flat spots on the tires, I think they look like hexagons right about now.
But give it to him for braking and then letting off. Braking and then letting off, and to really get that car back under control. So Loveland drops down to 16th. He's going to have to scramble for his life as he's now 15 seconds off pace. Rotating back up to Alspor's jet. Looks like Trevor Earnhardt is tailing right behind him. And they've got a comfortable 1-second lead over top of Nick Alves. But Nick Alves is back there with good company of Matthew Robinson. Brandon Dunford now sitting 5th, with Raider with contact with the wall. We'll see if any of that damage causes any problems for him here, as he's dropped outside of the top 5, but he's already putting the pressure on Dunford to get that spot back.
Have we seen Mr. Robinson tonight?
Matthew Robinson?
Yeah.
Absolutely, we've seen him. Are you kidding me?
Where was
25
that?
laps left to go in this one. Oh man, you know, Stella, I'm thinking it's a Fox moment.
Oh, no.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be cutting a commercial here for just a moment. We'll be right on back.
And so we had an issue at a plant about 2 weeks ago. It was a traditional municipal wastewater treatment plant. Tremendous foaming on top of the basins. And so me and our lead operator for the site got our heads together. We pulled some samples, did the analysis of those samples. We actually looked at the bugs from the system under a microscope so that we could see the type of bug that was actually growing in there. And what we found actually was that there were very few bugs growing in there. The higher life forms in particular had died off, and we had the single cell protozoa type of bacteria growing in there. So what that told us was we probably got hit with some kind of toxic shock at the facility. So we immediately changed the way we were operating the plant. We changed the return activated sludge rates, the wasting rates, and did a few other things around the facility to try to really buffer ourselves against whatever had happened, because it's too late, right? It's already in the plant. So we're trying to buffer ourselves against whatever that toxic event was, because if it just happened yesterday, it's liable to happen again today. Usually these things go in like threes. And so it's taking real world experience, knowing that we not only needed to look at the analytical data that we were collecting at the time, but also looking at the bugs under the microscope, determining what's going on with the bug population in the aeration basins, and then taking that information, layering that together with the data we collected through analytical analysis, and coming up with a solution based on all that combined, which I think is a pretty unique approach to dealing with a problem like that at a facility.
For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
Appreciate you guys hanging out for the quick shout out from our sponsors. We definitely saw a couple of little battles around here already. Robert Rader flying around, looking like he can see if he can battle back. Rader already getting into that third spot, but Matthew Robinson getting hammered around there pretty hard. Brandon Dunford in the 56 Toyota really kind of popped him right there in the rear end of that number one Chevrolet, and he able to maintain, stay composed, and get back up there. But Trevor Keith is starting to feel he's got a weak link in front of him as Trevor Keith slides through 3 and 4. So Trevor Keith, already with problems of his own, who was trying to attack Matthew Robinson, might be under fire here by Dylan Smoot, who is obviously saving his tires for later on in this race.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you called that right there, just trying to save their tires. But these guys are sliding so much off of turn 4, basically like what we was talking about earlier, Patrick. These guys are sliding and getting loose off of turn 4 with that money shift, as we would like to call it, going from 5th to 4th and trying to get those high RPMs. That's why they are getting as sideways as they are, trying to get those high RPMs. But going back, to the front right here, Alex Forget got caught up in a wreck on lap 1. Thought his day was done, but he soldiered on, carried on, and was able to keep it going. And he's now leading this race. Wow, big battle right here for 4th place. Got Matthew Robertson, just went around 2 of them. Looks like he's going to move up a spot right here. Nick Alves back here battling for 3rd. A lot of big battling right here for 3rd on back, Patrick.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything is really changing anything for Rader, hitting that wall between 3 and 4. Alves losing the top 3 spot here, drops him down to 4th, but still 8 up from his original start. But I think guys are starting to turn it on as we come with 15 to go at the line. Alex Forget really needing a win to secure a 3rd driver from the Performance Motorsports team into the playoffs here for a win. Only people who have not gotten it is Forget and Matthew Robinson. Bennett and Alves have done it already, but they continue to charge on here as they have made a 4-second separation for Jet and Earnhardt away from Robert Rader, who's sitting 3rd next in line. So if that dreaded colored flag comes out for the final, for one more time, I don't want to do it, that it could be definitely really a wrench in some of the spokes of these guys' wheels out here, is that is not what they want to see. But Robinson and Dunford back at it again. Now, remember I was saying during that commercial break, these two had gotten into it before and already had gotten Robinson loose, pushing him back a couple of positions. And Tay McDonald has been watching all this happen right in front of him. So Dunford makes a good, clean pass in front of Matthew Robinson. Robinson may have gotten a little, got the jitters there, may have pushed a little too hard, and I'm hoping these tires aren't going to be a problem. But if 37 laps is our fuel here, and we've got 147 laps here, 116 is the last time Alex Forget pit. Right now, this could be huge, and Alex Forget could be running away with this to his first win.
Yeah, and that is big, big key. I mean, we talked about this earlier with some of these guys needing great runs for confidence boosters, big time. Nick Alves having a rough 2 weeks at Dover and at Kansas. Alex Forget in the same boat, having very rough races. I mean, he had the race won at Dover and had a bad pit road entry, and it screwed him up on that. And then, you know, with his incidents at Kansas. So these two guys right here running first and fourth, big confidence boosters for these guys right here, trying to just be able to finish right here. If they can finish where they're at, I know Nick Alves is going to be happy, but I guarantee you Alex Forget's going to be tickled to death.
Yeah, 11 laps left to go here. Trevor Earnhardt has made contact with the wall a couple of times here. He was starting to gain a little bit of ground here on Alex Forget. Forget staying off the wall, but Earnhardt into the wall a couple of times. But notice how he's starting to really reel him in here. He's stalled off about another 1/10 of a second just on this lap. Can Alex Forget hold him off? I mean, this is going to be pretty tough. I mean, apparently none of the damage on the side of Trevor Earnhardt's machine is really any detriment to his running here tonight. And this is going to be a shootout here right at the end. We'll see if this comes at any expense here. I want to keep an eye out there as Jeremy Burns is actually picking up the pace as well. 9th position for him, but right now Nick Alves is sitting 4th and maybe really be on a march backwards as he fell out of 3rd and out of 4th, and he's got 5, 6, and 7 sitting right behind him, and this is going to be really close here if he's able to stay in the top 5 position, as Brandon Dunford's really been on the move.
Yeah, he is absolutely, metaphorically speaking, hammering on his back bumper. I mean, he's keeping Nick Alves' mirror completely full, and I don't know if Nick Alves burned his tires up and starting to slide back. That's got to be what it is, because this has been a very long green flag run that we've had right here, Patrick. And this is something, you know, that everybody at home's been really wanting to see, is everybody racing it hard and keeping it clean right here. But wow, Nick Alves getting into the wall. Here comes Brandon Dunford. He's going to come low. Oh, it's real tight off of turn 2. Alves in the wall. And Robinson going to bump draft, try to help his teammate out, coming off of turn 2, trying to help him. Tay McDonald going to see if he can capitalize off of this.
Yeah, not too bad there by Matthew Robinson. He may be kind of checking out of this one, just saying, hey, man, I'll push you back up. We could use a solid top 5 finish, so I'm sure Nick Alves will pay him back for that at the next Super Speedway. I guarantee that one. The next Super Speedway possibly being Michigan, but that is all the way down, all the way in August. So that is going to be definitely a reach out there, but I want to reel back up to our guys in the lead. Right now, 7 laps left to go. Earnhardt taking the shot to the inside. A little bit of clean air. He's trying to get the side draft on him, and he's got it. Alex Forget, there it is. Alex Forget into the wall. Earnhardt doored him. Boy, this is looking pretty dicey here right now. Earnhardt backed off about 3/4 tenths now. Half a second and going on back. Talk about a battle here right at the end. Earnhardt looked like he may have had it, but I don't know if Earnhardt sent it a little too hard into the turn and it caused any sort of trouble. But I don't know about you, Stella, but this is looking a little bit like how we saw the race go last time, and William Byron from out of nowhere gets his revenge back after the Logano move the year prior, and now Alex Forget may have a chance of getting his win here tonight.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see. Yeah, I remember the Logano turn 4, crushing him into the wall. Oops. But yeah, it was good to see William Byron finally come back. And
yeah,
sorry, I just saw. I can't walk and talk at the same time. Obviously, I can't watch the screen and talk at the same time. But yeah, I'm just watching brackets right now, and I'm seeing some nice movement in these brackets. So, pardon.
Yeah, taking a look at it, Earnhardt rotating up, and now more contact with the wall. Forget actually trying to save his tires more, and I'm wondering if Earnhardt kind of thinking about a little bit of a Hail Melon here, seeing if he can slide around 3 and 4. It is against the rules to do it. But as much contact as we're seeing Trevor Earnhardt making with the wall, he is capitalizing between 3 and 4, ricocheting off the wall the way he is. Alex Forget, you see him a lot harder on the brakes, a lot harder on his tires, trying to make sure he stays out of the wall. But the 21 machine slides underneath. Look how Forget, see how it's sliding around on him. Best time for these drivers was a 29.1, 30.2 seconds for both of them with 2 laps to go. Earnhardt all over his rear bumper here, and I don't know if he's going to be able to hold him off. Earnhardt is known to find that number 1 spot by any means, but that 21 machine, there it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Alice Forget a little too loose coming out of turn 2. Now Forget is going to have to full send it here as they come to the white flag this time by. Number 19 Toyota, we'll see if he decides to pull a Pocono move and get it, because he needs this win as Trevor Earnhardt may be reaching out for his 3rd. Definitely a wild run here by Trevor Earnhardt. Fantastic job to hold him off. But Forget right at the end, slight fumble there. Look how Forget's full sending it here. He is not letting off. Giving it just a little more, 0.3 of a second, trying to reel him in. Wait for the final turn here. Forget is going to ricochet it off the wall one more time to give it to him. Here it comes to the line. One more time, Forget trying to get the run here. Trevor Earnhardt in the wall as well, and Trevor Earnhardt gets the win here at the Chapman ES 200. Alice Forget comes 2nd, and Robert Rader is 3rd. That's the third I think he's received this season, with only 1 win, but not too shabby there. What an excellent last couple of laps here by the top 3 drivers here, especially Trevor Earnhardt and Alice Forget.
Yeah, that was absolutely killer racing. Basically, I guess you could say a Darlington classic. Here at Darlington, I mean, this track always produces some great finishes, Patrick, and I believe we just saw a great one right there.
Man, oh man, oh man.
I
Trevor
think the
Earnhardt
big
getting
surprise-
another win here.
The big surprise here would be Loveland being the last one on the lead lap when he was kind of favored for Darlington.
Yeah. And I also want to give a shout out to the Mountain Man. Jeremy Burns came 7th. Al's was 5th.
Yes.
He came he's been running almost dead last this entire run. And he fought all the way back within 2 spots of getting Nick Alves, which he needed to beat for the bracket run.
Yes.
Holy cow. So that should put Nick Alves and Justice Murphy in the next bracket coming up at Charlotte.
That's correct.
Ooh. Right now, with Justice and his terrible luck, this may not be good.
And I do believe Kevin Orlando and Trevor Earnhardt will move forward in their brackets.
Who did Kevin Orlando have to beat?
James Loveland.
Oh, no.
1 spot.
He beat him by 1 spot.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. By 3 seconds. Dude. Alrighty, everybody. Hold on just a moment. We're going to reel down all our drivers, and let's have a little conversation about this insane race we just witnessed. All right, everybody, we are caught up with Robert Rader here. Definitely one of the admins there kind of tumbling around with a few extra things kind of in the background. Rob, talk to me about this race here a little bit, man. This thing was wild even from the beginning.
I haven't been this wore out since the last time we ran Darlington, I think. I'm sweating. Yeah, it was a good race. Won the stage, which is nice. Probably should have won the race, but messed up on pit road and then got demolished. So it was really hurt at the end. But Trevor and Alex were racing really hard at the end there, which is probably great for the broadcast, which is really cool. Always glad when you guys have something exciting to talk about. But I was running them down big time. I was running them down 5, 6 tenths. I was just hoping they would tangle them up just a little bit more, so I'd have a shot to get up there and mix it up. But
All you had
I
to
mean,
do was stay off the wall, and you'd have run them down.
that would help. Yeah, I mean, those guys were doing everything they had to do up there. I don't know how much you guys can see the wheel, but I had it cranked this much to go straight after I got walled there. So we were 3 wide, and I was just trying to give space to those guys down there and ramp myself in the fence. So that was my fault. I should have just cut them all off and wrecked them, I guess. But then I don't know. Then I got run over, and then I got run over again, and then I got blocked down the back straight away, and then Robinson got shipped into 3 or whatever corner, and I don't know, man. Just glad I'm here talking to you and finished 3rd and won a stage, actually. At the end of the day, man, it's such a tough track. I mean, you have to race the track first, and so I mean, I'm not holding any grudges when we move up out of this place. It's just really hard.
Would you qualify this as short track racing?
Yeah, it was at a couple points for me. I don't know about everybody. I don't know about everybody else. A couple of times that the old bump and run worked, but I was really looking forward to seeing Trevor and Alex turn that into full-blown Martinsville, but it just never quite happened for me. Otherwise, I could have won. But
yeah, it was wild, man. Alex Forget gave it everything he had. Trevor Earnhardt just was able to wait him out. And once again, I would say he was kind of robbed of another win here, man. But at least I would rather it that than somebody making that choice for him. You know what I mean?
yeah, well, I know Trevor and Alex had a little run-in last week on maybe some words post-race about it, which is why I was so excited. Like, I'm 3rd. I got a 2.5-second lead on the guys behind me. These boys are about to wreck each other. I got this win in the bag. Will be great. But didn't work out that way. I'm glad they were able to race it clean to the end too. I mean, you know, as much as when you're running 3rd, you hope those things happen as an admin, and for the show, you of course obviously hope that doesn't happen. But Alex was super fast on the short run, and he just didn't have the long run pace. But it's so hard to pass. If he didn't get, I think he got loose out of 2.
Yep.
With 2 to go, it was kind of hard for me to see coming out of there. But if he didn't get loose out of that corner, I feel like in 3 and 4 they would have wrecked each other, and I would have won the race. So, so it's a shame. It's a shame that happened. But yeah, man, it was a cool race. It's such a cool racetrack too. It can be really frustrating, but I don't know, man. I love it. So.
All right, man. Well, give me a little insight on the All-Star race, kind of what's coming up. You don't have to give us all the deets. Everybody's going to be checking out the Facebook and listening to the podcast of what's coming up. But give me a little bit, kind of what's up for grabs. If somebody wins this thing, if somebody, what happens, and what does the All-Star race mean to the Racing Revolution League?
Well, first of all, going to North Wilkesboro is going to be super cool. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. These cars will be good there after they get the tires warm. This first couple laps might be a little rough, but yeah, man, we got 15 cars that are qualified, 15 drivers that are qualified right now, locked themselves in either by having a pole over the last 2 seasons or winning a race over the last 2 seasons. We have 2 more spots available in the All-Star Open, which will run before the All-Star race. Got a couple other details that I don't want to give out quite yet, just because we're trying to figure out what the right balance of tires and that type of stuff is before we make the announcement tomorrow morning. But yeah, well, as an admin team, after the race tonight, we'll be figuring out the final details on that. But right now, there's a $50 prize on the line to win the race. Rumor has it that may be increasing, so we'll find out tomorrow morning.
Ooh, all right, Rob. Give me a shout outs here because you got some admin and stuff to do with with guys hail melaning and things like that. I didn't see it. I saw it. We full sent it. One ricochet on the wall, not the whole scrape. But go give them to me here, bud.
Yeah, well, look, I'm just the messenger, okay? Don't shoot me. No, we have a couple things under review at the end of this race. I don't know the details of them all. I haven't had a chance to look at them, so I'm not going to have a comment on that. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Chapman Environmental Services. I really love when this happens, Patrick. They sponsored my team. They sponsored my car. They sponsored the league. They sponsored the race. They sponsored probably the track. I don't know. I don't know if an official deal has been made there or not, but they sponsored everything tonight. So shout out to Chapman Environmental Services, chapmanes.com, as I'm sure Stella got in at some point tonight. She does a great job with that. Of course, shout out to Butt Kicker as well for having an awesome prize for us at the end of the season. And then always got to shout out Ultimate Siding and Gutters. You know, they don't have to help us out, but they do anyway, which is always the case. But I mean, you know, David Buell, who puts that on for us, and you know, I mean, he's such a great guy. He'll let us know a couple times a season, hey, do you guys need anything? Hey, do you guys need a top up on anything? Are you running a little short somewhere? You know, he's always there for us. And fortunately, we haven't needed him to do any more than his normal responsibilities, but you know, his support is always appreciated. So big shout out to him and big shout out to Ultimate Siding and Gutters. And then Simtrax Broadcasting, you guys do an awesome job. Really glad to have you on board and to watch you guys grow as you do basically race to race. You guys are awesome. So, and I think this is like three races in a row in the top three or something, man. We're kicking butt out here, man. We're coming. We're back. We're finally here. We're ready to go.
There you go.
Nope. No back-to-back wins for you, Rob, but man, you get to try again here. I believe at the next race at Charlotte. Ooh, I wonder who's sponsoring that one. Joke's on
good
you.
question.
It's me.
Oh, okay. About to say, I feel bad for not knowing. Now
No,
that you
you're
put me on
good,
the
bud.
spot.
You're good. Besides, I gotta name that thing anyway. Rob,
That's
appreciate
all right.
you joining us here in the top podium position, man. Hopefully, we'll see how you do in the All-Star race. Congratulations on the third place finish.
Thanks. We'll try and talk to you back to back here. If we can't win next week, at least I'll hopefully talk to you in Charlotte. Great track for me. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
All
maybe
right.
third. Again.
Oh,
Maybe third. Third's a good spot. At least to get airtime in third. Isn't that
Yes.
right?
there you go.
So, all right.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Man, I always give him hell. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can find Alice Forget out there. Man, Alice Forget really got a whooping here. He got going. Jacob, go ahead and give it to him.
As for Jet coming home in second tonight, man, that was a tough last couple of laps right there. But tell us about your race, bud.
Oh, it was a big roller coaster. I got involved in this first track, so I used all the first stage and mostly all the cautions tonight to repair the car. But with less than a minute to repair, I saw that I had the speed to pass people, and at that point, I knew that if the repairs could be done, it would be great, and that's what happened. As soon as I got all my repairs done, I went through the field. I got to first, and I lost it with 2 to go. It's obviously I'm a bit pissed because I really wanted this one with everything that happened tonight. As you can see, I am wearing earbuds. Usually, I'm wearing this headset. But it died mid-race.
Mm-hmm.
It died mid-race. While under caution, though, so I got lucky. I was able to switch everything to my earbuds. That was crazy. That was a very, very big roller coaster of a race. I had my ups and downs everywhere.
Well, now Patrick talked to Robert about this a minute ago, and I was going to ask you the same thing. Would you classify this, I guess you could say, as a short track racing? With all the contact and everything that was going on tonight, would you classify this as basically like short track racing here?
I'd say that there's one corner specifically that acts as a short track, and it's 3 and 4 because it's way shorter. Here at Darlington, 1 and 2, there's one lane, and it's taking the whole track. So there's no, unless you run into someone and put him into the wall or made him loose, it's taking 2. There's only one place that you could somewhat pass and give you momentum and act like a short track, and it was 3 and 4.
All right. Well, now next week's gonna be the All-Star race. We ain't got no details on that, so we'll just see what happens when it comes available. But the next points paying race is gonna be at Charlotte, and that's very historic track, much less or much like Darlington. How do you feel about your chances at Charlotte?
I feel great. It's a mile and a half. It's my this is where I feel at home. Just hope that it doesn't get too loose on long runs. I'd rather have a tighter car on long runs than a looser car, because that's where I think keeping the momentum maybe on the high line versus the low line will be a very big play at that track. So just hope that everything goes well. But yeah, I felt pretty great about going to Charlotte.
All right. Well, last thing I gotta ask you, give me a shout outs. Who's made it possible for you to be here, bud?
Well, I gotta thank my parents for furnishing the internet and everything that I have around me right now. You guys for this amazing broadcast and this league overhaul. All the sponsors, Chapman today for sponsoring this race, and PC Express for giving me an awesome workplace to have fun while working. It's an awesome place, and I really love working with these guys. My teammates, I love these guys. They're amazing. Every week I come here and they're prepared. We talk each other through all the week, what we're going to do this race, blah, blah, blah. And these good results will not be as important to me if they weren't there to be there around me and encourage me and, teamwork.
Yeah, teamwork's always big. In racing in NASCAR, racing Revolution, and basically anything, teamwork. But as for Zach, congratulations on your second place finish. I've got a good feeling we're going to be talking to you in the coming weeks, bud.
Yes, sir. I hope too. And thank you everyone for watching tonight. I know that I had a couple of friends watching. So hi guys, and thanks for watching.
Appreciate your time, bud.
Thanks, Alex. Alrighty. You know what we should do? We should talk to Alex Forget about his short game. You know what I mean? Like it seems like he can drive off. At the beginning he can chip all he wants, but man, when it comes to putt, it's time to not get it home. He just can't make it there, and he's so close each and every time. And I would love to see him be able to pull it through. Gus can't seem to get broken away here, so we will continue on here. But let's see if we can find the man, the myth, the legend here, Trevor Earnhardt in the 21 Chevrolet. Another win here, man. What's it going to take to lose?
Dude, I don't know. We're on a pretty good hot streak right now. Dover, Kansas, and then get the win here tonight. Man, it felt good. That was a heck of a last 20 laps, 30 laps, however long that run was. I'm sweating, but man, that was a lot of fun all night long. Still got to fix qualifying though, because again, messed it up. But chaos ensued on the start, and we got up to the front and never looked back from there.
Yeah, dude, and I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, guys that are fast, that are starting in the back and battling through the entire field to get back up to the front, and guys who are, it's nothing on like Blake Cook. Blake Cook has actually qualified top 5 in the past few races here. I mean, he just has to get a finish here. I mean, you've been qualifying beyond 15th place, and you're up 14 positions tonight for the win. I mean, this is what, dude. We gotta fix the qualifying here. What is it gonna take?
I don't know. I felt good. I practiced qualifying a lot yesterday evening, and then today in the practice session, I practiced my qualifying to make sure that we didn't have this issue. And lo and behold, I get into the wall at a 2 on lap 1, and then get too tight in 3 and 4, and we start 15th. But I had a lot of confidence going into this race, just in long run speed in general, and it's kind of what I was waiting for there with Alex. There in those last closing laps, I saw him starting to get loose and made a little bit of contact out of 4, and he saved it. We made some contact down into 1 and 2, and I tried to get to his inside. I saved it, got back to him, and then just waited for the mistake to happen, and he made the mistake out of 2 and sailed right on by. And from there, I mean, it was one lap dash to the end there, and I was feeling pretty good about it. Saw him get into the wall and give it a shot, and hey, all credit to him. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to try to get a win. They're tough to come by in this league. I mean, it's taken me, what is this, race 11? So 10 races since Daytona to get back into victory lane. But yeah, all night long, I felt really good. My teammate Leveland was up there all night until he had an unfortunate issue down into 1 and 2, and I think he got spun on the front stretch. Parker was having a great run up until he got into the wall. So shout out to my two teammates. They were pretty quick all night long too. So as a team, we did fairly well tonight.
Talk to me about the possibility of the Hail Melon between 3 and 4. Somebody had to be thinking about it. We saw you bounce off the middle a couple of times, and I know Alex Forget definitely ricocheted out of the exit of 4. But there was I guarantee there was no lifting in that one. Talk to me about it here a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into the wall. Obviously, you don't want to get into the wall in these cars with how fragile the toe links are, but as Darlington, you're going to hit the wall. And I bounced off the center of 3 and 4 a couple of times, just over driving it, trying to apply pressure to him. And then, that last lap coming into 3 and 4, I just wanted to take it nice and easy, get the car slowed down and rotate it through the center and not have to worry about it getting loose when I got back on the throttle. And I saw him go to the wall, and I was like, I'm not in a position to block this. I'm going to be in trouble here because I couldn't get back to the top, because if I tried to throttle up, it was just going to snap loose on me. So I just kind of was watching the mirror, and then I saw it sucking back into the wall out of 4, and I knew I was good to the line from there. But it definitely scared me there a little bit, because I knew I wasn't in a position to block him, but thankfully didn't have to worry about it. But I mean, hey, it's the last lap. You gotta give it everything you got, and he certainly gave it everything he got.
All right, well, you are the winner of the ChapmanES.com 200. We head, obviously, to the All-Star race. You're a previous winner from last season and this season, so you're qualified in there. But talk to me about Charlotte, man. This is this Black Rifle Coffee Machine just seems to keep staying on a roll here. How do we get fast there, and how did you put yourself back in victory lane?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, we were the dominant car last year at Charlotte. Justice took those 2 tires and gave us a run for our money, and then unfortunately, he and I got together down the back straightaway and took him out of a chance to win that race. I think he had a really good chance to win that on that 2-tire call. The clean air was just so important last year, but we'll see. I mean, the car's going to be a little bit different, but I mean, if it's anything like last season, I expect to have this 21 machine up front pretty much all night long again.
All righty, man. Definitely give me your shout-outs here. I can't wait to see what you can do next race.
Shout out to Chapman Environmental Services for sponsoring not only the league, but the race itself tonight and everything they do for the league. Ultimate Siding and Gutters. I know David's not here with us week in, week out, but we appreciate his support nonetheless. Butt Kicker as well for supplying the championship prize, which hopefully we get this year. Hopefully we don't throw it away like we did last season, but we'll see when we get there. Shout out to everybody in the league. I know it was a rough race. There was a lot of incidents out there tonight, but it's Darlington, and all in all, I thought it was a pretty good race. A lot of hard racing up front. Shout out to Rob. I mean, he and I raced pretty hard all night. And I got to shout out Alex too. I know we had our differences last week at Kansas, and he and I talked yesterday to kind of clear the air. And I mean, that was good hard racing there. Really respectful those last 20 laps. So shout out to Alex for racing that clean, or as clean as he did. Shout out to Simtrex and you guys, man. Y'all are fantastic. I love going back and watching these, the next day and seeing everything that happened throughout the race. And as always, man, I got to shout out my family. My parents weren't able to watch tonight. They're on a plane out to Ireland, so hopefully they enjoy their vacation out there. I know my grandparents in Houston were watching, so hey, guys, I love y'all. Glad I got the win for you guys tonight. My nephew, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law down in Austin, for tuning in every night, and man, just everybody in the league in general. It's been a blast this season.
Oh yeah, you the man, Trevor. You the man.
I'm a good public speaker. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, you definitely got this run going, man. I'm really excited what you can bring to the table this go around. I mean, there are so many different tracks that you're going to be able to strive well at. I think Chicago Street, I still got to see what you guys can do there. That'll be a fantastic road course. Sonoma as well. I think there's going to be a couple more wins that you're going to have a really, really good chance. Watkins Glen being another one, being a road course. And I can't wait to see what that 21 Chevrolet can bring to the table.
Man, I'm looking forward to it. Next week's gonna be a lot of fun with the All-Star race, but I definitely got Charlotte circled. Might have to dust off the old Die Hard paint scheme. That car was the T-Rex of, I think, the Racing Revolution League. So we might have to knock the dust off of that one and bring that thing back and put it back in victory lane. Oh yes, sir.
Yes, I remember it. Yes. I would demand this to happen.
Hey, you're sponsoring that race at Charlotte, so I think we're gonna knock the dust off of it, bring her out of retirement, and see if we can put it back in victory lane at Charlotte.
All righty, appreciate it, Trevor. We'll catch with you next week, my man.
Yes, sir. Y'all take care.
You too. All right, everybody. That's Trevor Earnhardt. Awesome. There's a little insight there, guys. We get the Die Hard car back. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but he won a lot of races in that. You could point him out, you can find him, but Stella, that's definitely gonna trip you up with some new paint schemes, eh?
Always. Always. I swear they do it just to give me grief.
That's all right. Race 1 was tough, everybody. Changing teams, changing paint schemes, and changing numbers. That really messed all of us up. So, definitely a tough one, but that is going to do it for us here. Definitely a wild race here at Darlington. Catch us next Wednesday. We'll be running the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro. That should be a wild one. I'm really hoping it's the new one, the new paved one, so we'll see how well that goes. But that's going to do it for us here at Simtrax Broadcasting. From all of us here, Patrick Morrison here with you, Jacob Reeves and Stella as well, joining alongside me here tonight. Signing off. See you later. Be well, be safe, be kind. I'll see all you guys next time.